No, it was a looking back thing. So I start pretty much every song on the piano back there, and
Uh-huh.
I'm just humming along, and you kind of get in this sort of this is gonna sound super new age and whatever, but you kind of just get in this like flow, almost like a trance state where you're just humming and like babbling and like scatting out sounds, and sometimes like lines just literally appear to you, right? And I had I was just I had this chord progression I really liked, and like this little melody, and then the sort of vibe of it. And then the first line when it was like, "Is it too late to call? Swear I've seen this whole movie before." And it was like, I was like, "Ooh, I like that." And but I was like, "What is this about?" And then I was sort of like, you kind of sit with it and just like do free association for a little bit, and then I realized, I was like, oh, this is what I was like, this is what my subconscious is telling me to write about. And then once I sort of locked into that, it was kind of circling that moment in my life, and then you kind of just try to put yourself back in that place, and almost look at it as a character and just see what comes from there. And it all, the good ones just kind of fall out, right? You don't have to really wrestle with them. And this one was like, it was such a vivid memory in my mind that I'd never really processed, and I think writing about it actually kind of helped to help me come to terms with it. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that. I think that's sort of the magic of songwriting. I wrote this song about a very specific moment in my life years ago, but then through the pandemic, I was, as I was writing and working on the album, this story came back up, and it had all this different meaning than the very specifics about what I originally wrote about. And like a lot of people, I was struggling with mental health, and still do, through the pandemic. And I realized that, yeah, I wrote it about this one moment, but it also applies now. And I think that's sort of how I know a song is special, to where it's almost like seeing into the future, right? Where I wrote this song to try to help myself to get through one thing, and it sort of comes back. And so that's when I kind of knew that, this feels this feels right for this moment. Yeah, I'm not a big message guy. I mean, for me, it's when I listen to music, I love like finding my own meaning in it, and even in cases where it's like, I think of it as like when you're reading a book and you like have a picture of the characters in your head, and then you see the movie and you're like, that's not what that guy looks like. Like, that's not, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, I mean, I just try to put as much of myself in it and make it as rich and sort of colorful of a story. And, I know what it means to me, but if someone listens to it and comes out with their own meaning out of it, like, who am I? Right? Once it's out, it's everyone's. It's not my song anymore. I don't know. It's kind of it's just sort of the universe being like, just seeming like the right time. I think with any release, it's the song's been done and we've been planning on it in a while. But I've been dying to get music out, but I've been working on this album, and I wanted to really get some groundwork and know where things are heading before I just sort of put things out. And the timing kind of worked out to where it kind of feels like there's hope in the world right now, and maybe we'll be getting back to live shows in the near future. And it all kind of worked out, and it just, we planted a flag a couple months ago, and here we are. Yeah, it was really hard. I was working with the director, and we were coming up with ideas, and he sort of pitched this idea, and I was like, can we do that? Is that a thing? I was like, yeah. I was like, let's do it. And like, once the idea got in my head, I was like, we're gonna make this happen. And I'm not a very good swimmer. I'd never done anything like this before, so I was like rehearsing in my bathtub, like holding my breath, and I got like an underwater case and was like seeing how long I could hold my breath, and recording myself trying to lip sync, and everything from the giving playback underwater to learning how to lip sync underwater is a thing, because it's really hard to look natural because you're underwater. And so there was but it was important to me in the video that I'm trying to look like everything is fine, right? Obviously it's not fine, but that was sort of the metaphor I was trying to get out. Like when you're going through these things, you feel this incredible weight crushing down on you. You can't breathe, but you're just trying to go about your life like nothing is wrong. And so to kind of get that feeling, it was like I had to holding your breath and doing stuff underwater is really like 90% mental, where you just have to convince yourself that you're not drowning and that you have enough time to get back up to the surface. And so it was a long day, just like we'd like get set up, I would drop underwater, we'd do the take, go back up, like gasp for breath, and then get some notes and do it again. And it was a long day, and by the end I was like I was like a shell of a human. I was dizzy, like shivering, I had like my eyes, like I was like almost blind, but it was and like I had no idea what it looked like by the end, but I was like, I hope it's good, and really happy with how it turned out. Yeah, I mean, it's every day is just working on the album, trying to get together and sort of preparing the eventual live show for it. Whenever, a lot of it's kind of in flux right now because shows are kind of coming back, but I've been trying not to like give my hopes up too much about specific dates, because I've been doing that for the last year, and everything keeps getting pushed back. But yeah, it's just working on the sound, working on the new music is all sort of during the pandemic, I kind of realized what's important to me creatively, and I had to really think about it. And I sort of have been leaning into the singer-songwriter and sort of alt-rock elements of the music I loved growing up, and just figuring out a way to kind of bring together that sort of organic, intimate storytelling with the sort of more electronic sounds that I've been doing. And I really wanted to tell like real stories, and like I think it's the first time I've been writing about myself, and warts and all, not just the kind of idealized, sort of like romanticized stories that I think are oftentimes in electronic songs, and really bring some soul and grit, and even if it's not the most fun things to talk about, but it's real to me. And yeah, I'm just trying to kind of bring those stories to life. I mean, it was all made right here in the studio. It's all yeah, I mean, it's very much sort of like a home production kind of thing. And it's, yeah, I guess most like the souls of the songs were all made away from the computer. Okay. And it's all, I always wanted to make a song that, you could strip away everything and just do it on piano and sing it, and it still works as a song. And, that's sort of the kernel and soul of everything that of everything on the album.